Well, hey, mamas. Hello, hello. Jessica Coulter here, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. Today, we are talking about writing utensils, about pens, about pencils. So, we are all about school supplies this week because I know we're really close to back to school. And I know that you and your teen are trying to figure out what school supplies do I actually need and which ones should I not buy. So, mamas, what do you think? What does your teen think? Pens, pencils? What does your teen actually write with at school? I want to know. Drop it down below for me if you would. And if your teen avoids writing, does not like to write anything, if he doesn't have to, she doesn't have to, I want to know that too. Now, before we start talking about pros and cons of different pens, different utensils, do know I'd love to meet with you and your teen one-on-one so we can talk about school supplies and how your teen learns. So be sure to go to my website, that link in the description, to book a strategy call. So hopefully we can talk soon. So, writing utensils, all sorts of different options out there. We've got pens, we've got pencils. So that is usually question number one. What do I as a tutor recommend, pencils or pens? And I got to tell you, from a note-taking perspective, I'm all about the pens. They write so much faster. They don't need to be sharpened, and they come in different colors. So that is very, very useful for note-taking and annotating, which makes a huge difference when it comes to studying. Okay, so that's question and answer number one that I usually get. The next question is, how much money should I spend on pens? How nice of pens does my teen really need? Well, I can't say I have any super expensive pens here, but there are those pens that come in individual packs, those ones that can be refilled, those ones like with the really squishy grips, the ones that are really nice, really heavy. Your teen does not need those, okay? Your teen, your middle schooler, your high schooler, your college kiddo, not necessary. These cheap pens, these ones that come in packs of 12, 24, whatever crazy number it is, totally fine. Now, I will tell you from personal opinions, as well as what I've seen students do, these ones that, come cheaply, but the lid comes off. I got to tell you, this lid going to be lost very, 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 very quickly. So personal preference and more successfully seeing these pens that click much, much better because your teen carries around this pencil. Well, this pen, I should say. A lot of kids will chew on this cap, okay? Not a big deal for middle school, high school when it comes to like choking, but at the same time, gross and, nasty and distracting and not what the teachers, not what your kids' classmates want to see. So definitely prefer the clicking over the other. But at the same time, I got to tell you, the clicking can get very, very annoying. So for all of my mamas that are watching, your kids have ADHD, they like to fiddle, they like to, move and fidget. Well, I got to tell you, I am all about these grips that are the gel grips, the grips that are, this one's kind of fuzzy, grippy, whatever. That is a very quiet way for your teen to get the fidgets out and, not be clicking, not be chewing, but at the same time, also very comfortable to write with. So what else can I tell you about pens and pencils? Well, I have a couple more thoughts here when we talk about colored pens. And, we haven't even talked about mechanical pencils. So definitely do know, moms, I'm live on YouTube right now and I'm live on Facebook. So make sure you're a subscriber, make sure you're a follower so you don't miss my future videos all about school, all about studying, all about learning. So pencils. Well, I got to tell you, for me personally, you got to have a pencil in math. I mean, I got to tell you, I see students, I work with students that write in pen for math. And it works. Is that what the math teacher wants? I have yet to meet a math teacher that's okay with math, or even a lot of science teachers that are okay with pen in math or in class for like homework and for labs and for assignments. But do know there's going to be lots of scratching out, math, science. Anytime there's math and science, there's a lot of redoing, a lot of figuring, a lot of calculations, and pencils are better. Now, for mechanical pencils, you might be asking, okay, should I spend the money on the nicer ones? Should I be buying the cheaper ones? I mean, the cheaper ones squeak. I mean, when your teen writes, yeah, it's going to squeak. Is it embarrassing? It really depends on your teen. Is it annoying? I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think your teen's teachers would much rather hear the squeaking and maybe be a little annoyed knowing, hey, at least one of my students is doing the work. One of my students is actually taking notes versus not hearing any scratching, any squeaking from anybody. So definitely mechanical pencils are great, except remember there's a whole cost of lead. And, I see it all the time with students, with, like I said, in the classroom, out of the classroom, as a substitute teacher, as a tutor. When students run out of lead, then it becomes a whole production of who has lead. Not only who has lead, but there's different sizes of lead. I think it's like 0.5 versus 0.7. And so that becomes a production of, does anyone have the right lead? And then there's the whole production of, okay, well, your kid gives up on lead. Well, he tried. And then so many students use it as an excuse to not do the notes, to not do the work in class or in between classes or when there's downtime because, well, I don't have anything to write with. So definitely, I got to tell you, parents, even if your kid says he hates number 2 pencils, the normal pencils that have to be sharpened, or even these cheaper pens, with the lids that, aren't the greatest and maybe don't have the grippy thing, always send your kid with a couple basic, bare minimum supplies so that way your kid can actually take notes, can actually do the work in class. Okay. And I am all about the squishies. I mean, that's one of the things for me. My finger hurts. I take that many notes that if I don't have something grippy, it's not going to happen. Not going to be very happy about it. And I can tell you too that all these fun colors. Maybe your teen has a favorite color, so use that favorite color pen in maybe at least favorite class, because then your teen will actually take notes. Will actually have motivation to do the work because, or only in this class do I use this special pen. And I know there's gel pens. I know there's all sorts of different smelly pens. I mean, that's a personal preference. And, as long as it writes, it's good. It's something to use. But I just want you to be aware, parents, so many options out there, but your teens do not need the coolest, fanciest, most expensive pens out there. And, mechanical pencils, definitely reusable. So if your teen used those last year, reuse them. I always recommend, too, that you send your kiddos with the cheaper pens, cheaper pencils, regular things, not only as a backup for your teen, but your teen most likely is going to let friends borrow these things. And so if you don't want to be constantly funding some of your teen's friends' school supplies with the good mechanical pencils, the good pens, send some of those other things as backups. Your teen can be generous, can be nice, can share like he or she wants to. So thank you so much for watching. If you've got questions about school supplies, you've got questions about, okay, how does my teen study and how does these things, Jessica, you've shared this week about pencils and about paper and about notebooks have anything to do with my teen's learning style? Well, a great place to ask those questions, a great place for us to explore that together is during a strategy call. So go to the link in the description that will take you to my website, fill out that intake form, and we'll be able to schedule a strategy call at the day and time that's most convenient for you and for your teen. So thanks so much. Have a good night, a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you at a strategy call here in the near future when you fill out that form in the link. Bye.